Hi everyone. Is my voice audible?
Yes, it's audible.
Okay. So far we have completed 5 modules, and today we are going to start with module number 6. Module number 6 is all about documentation. In this module, I am going to explain you what is documentation and what is the importance of documentation. Like what are the benefits that we are going to get when we do documentation, and apart from that, we are going to see what are the different types of documents that BA is going to prepare, and for which project, what kind of document he is going to prepare, and how to prepare these documents, what are the contents, how to get these contents. Then I will explain about SRS, BRS, and FSD and SOW, and for which project what kind of document we have to prepare, and what is the difference between these documents, and I will be showing you some templates also. Okay, so coming to documentation, documentation is going to act as one of the important pillar for the implementation and development of the project. Okay, so by doing documentation we have several benefits. So can you people just give me a blind guess, like what could be the benefits by doing a documentation? Any guesses? In general, like what happens if you are going to maintain documentation? Yes guys.
So if you have a documentation, so that basically means that you have the requirements and you have all the information kept in one place where you can go back, revisit, and reuse that information as and when you require.
Okay. Yes, Abhishek. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, if we do documentation, we have all the records in one place. If there is something that we require, maybe not this project, but the next project, but we have all the information already recorded. So that is one of the benefits.
Okay. So as the people said, there are several benefits by doing documentation. So documentation can be used as a review purpose, and documentation can be used to keep records, and documentation can be used as a reference. That means if you are following a particular process for doing a project, once you complete one step, then what is the next step? Then you are going to refer the document and you are going to do. In the same way, documentation helps to identify the status of the project, that is through RTM, requirement traceability matrix. In the same way, documentation is used as a training material. So we are going to prepare end user manuals. So once we complete the entire document, so entire project, we are going to give these end user manuals to the end users, then they will prepare or get trained. Okay. Then in the same way, documentation is used to distribute the work among the team. And for example, if any employee is resigning in the middle of the project, so we have to fill up that position with new employee. So once if new employee takes position, then we will give documentation and say to the new employee, this is the project and this is the work we have completed. In this way, it is going to use as a referral. Okay. So there are several benefits, and one of the most important role and responsibility of a BA is to prepare documents. So throughout his career, he will be spending more time on preparing different types of documents. So as a BA, we will prepare many documents, but among them, the most important documents are 4 types. The first one is SRS. SRS stands for Software Requirement Specification or System Requirement Specification. And second one is BRS. BRS stands for Business Requirement Specification or BRD, Business Requirement Document. Third one is FRS. FRS stands for Functional Requirement Specification, and we can also call it as FSD, Functional Specification Document. And another one is SOW. SOW stands for Statement of Work. So these are the 4 documents basically the BA is going to prepare. Apart from this, we have many documents like RTM, Requirement Traceability Matrix. Okay. Then we are going to prepare daily status report. We are going to prepare bug tracking reports. Okay. So all these are different documents, but mainly these are the 4 documents which BA is going to prepare. And all these documents are prepared by some standards. Okay. So there is a body which is going to maintain these standards, that is known as IEEE. IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So this is a body which is going to maintain some formats related to all the documents. For example, all functional and development documents we are going to prepare as per the standards of IEEE 830. So this is standard 830 contains clause 830 in IEEE contains functional and development documents. In the same way, all testing documents like test cases, test plans, test scenarios are prepared as per the standards of IEEE 830, 829. Okay. So in this way, we have a particular standard. Okay. So let me show you what IEEE 829 contains. Sorry, IEEE 830 contains. So whenever you are preparing functional or development documents, you are going to include these sections and subsections which are specified by IEEE 830. So before moving forward, just remember one thing. There is no particular format to prepare a document in the IT company. Okay. So there are only standards, but there are no particular formats. For example, if I am a BA, I am going to use one format. If you are a BA, you are going to use same format. If X person is a BA, he is going to use some other format. Okay. But standards are there. That means we have to take contents and subcontents from this only. Whatever the contents and subcontents that are applicable to our project, we are going to pick those only. So others we are going to eliminate. Okay. And there is no rule that we have to follow this sequence. You can change the sequence. You can jumble the contents and subcontents. So all this is possible. That means what I mean to say is, like, if I am a BA, so I will use this format. Like I will give sections and I will give subsections. Like introduction is my first section, and under that subsections are purpose, document, conventions, intended audience, additional information. These are subsections. So this is my format. I may get only 6 sections, but another BA is there, is not going to maintain this format. You want to put it everything as section. So what you will do, you will take first section as introduction, second section as purpose, third section as document conventions. You won't write subsections. So at that time, you may get nearly 25 to 30 sections. Okay. So only the format changes, but if you compare each and every document, they are going to provide the complete information, whatever we want. Okay. So, and for example, intended audience is there. So if our project does not have intended audience, we are not going to take this. Okay. So whatever we are required from these sections and subsections, we will take that only and we will prevent documentation. Now, first, let us see what SRS documentation. So as I said you, SRS stands for Software Requirement Specification or System Requirement Specification. So this document explains the complete behavior and description of the system. Okay, that means it explains how the data is flowing in the system. Okay, so in this document, we are going to explain about all functionalities, but in brief, not in detail. And this document is prepared as per the standards of IEEE 830. Okay, so this document contains all requirements that are required for a software employee to develop a project or a software. Okay, so apart from functional requirements, we are also going to explain some non-functional requirements. Okay, then how to prepare this document means, in this document we have 6 sections. First one is introduction, second one is general description, third one is specific requirements, fourth one is analysis module, fifth one is change management process, sixth one is appendix. Okay, so this is my style of preparing. Again, in each section we are going to have some subsections. Okay, so let me explain what each and every section contains. The first one is introduction. In this section, first we have to explain who is our client, what kind of business is doing, and what is the legacy system is using. That means presently what kind of process is using, whether he is facing any problems in the existing system, or whether he got new requirements for his project. That means why he is implementing our project, whether he got some problems with the existing system or whether he got some new requirements. Then how our project is going to help to the client. In case if our project is going to solve problems, how many problems it is going to solve and to what extent, and what we need to deliver in this project, what we should not deliver in this project. So all this comes under introduction part. Okay, again in introduction we have some subsections, like first one is purpose, second one is scope, third one is abbreviations, fourth one is acronyms, and fifth one is overview. Sorry, fourth one is reference and fifth one is overview. So the first one is purpose. Again under this subsection, why we are implementing this project. Okay, whether the client got any new requirements or whether existing system is giving any problems, that we are going to specify. Then second one is scope. That means what we are going to deliver in this project. For example, if you are doing a project only for operating system, we will specify this project is going to support only for operating system and not for mobile apps. In the same way, if you are doing this project only for a specific country, then we have to specify this project can be used only in US and not in other countries. In the same way, if this project is not a multilingual project, So you have to specify this project is going to support only for English and Spain languages. We are not going to do in any multilingual. In this way, what we are going to deliver, that we are going to specify. Then third subsection is abbreviations and acronyms. That means whatever the abbreviations that we are going to use in this project, we are going to put all those abbreviations here in sequence and explain the full form. For example, serial number 1, we will say SRS and we will explain. SRS stands for Software Requirement Specification or System Requirement Specification. And second one is UC. UC stands for Use Cases. And third one is LLD. LLD stands for Low Level Diagrams. In this way, whatever abbreviations we use, we are going to keep here as a sequence. Okay. Then fourth one is reference. Under this subsection, if you are going to take the reference of anything, we are going to specify here. For example, related to this project, if you are going to search some information in Google, so we will say we have taken the help of google.com to get some information. In the same way, if you have referred any book which is written by a famous author, that also you will specify, saying that we have referred so and so book, this is written by so and so author. Okay. Then the final subsection is overview. Under this subsection, we are going to explain how our project looks like. So what kind of features it is going to fulfill. Okay. So these are the 5 subsections that will be there in first section, that is introduction. Okay. Then second one is general description. Okay. So under general description, we are going to explain the factors, that is general factors, which are going to influence the development and implementation of a project. So here we are going to explain only the general factors, not any other factors. Okay. So here under this section, there are some subsections like product perspective, product functions, user characteristics, assumptions and dependencies, constraints. Okay. So all this comes under general description. For example, product perspective is there. So we are going to explain this product perspective from general point of view. For example, let us say in your project, is there any login and logout facility, print receipt facility, download facility? So all these are general things from product perspective. Then second one is product functions. Product functions means the general features that particular product has. For example, if you are developing a website, then what are the general features that available in website, like about us, home, about us, our services, our reviews, contact us. So these are general things. Okay, those are nothing but product functions. And third one is user characteristics. Under this subsection, we are going to specify how many actors are there in this particular project, and we are going to specify them and what they are going to do, that also we will specify. For example, if you take ATM application system, so one actor will be customer, who is going to give request to the system, and second actor is system database, which is going to accept request and respond, and third one is admin, who is going to maintain the database. So in this way we will identify and we will say, so in this project we are going to have customer, then we will write his features, what is going to do. And second one is bank database. The same way we will write features and what it is going to do. And third one is admin. So what admin is going to do and what kind of features he have, everything we are going to mention. Okay. Then next one is exceptions. So if you have universal exceptions for a project, then we are going to specify. So if I take ATM application system, okay. So exceptions in the sense, like whatever the requirement we develop, so we are going to have a universal exception that each and every customer is going to have a bank account and his account as a ATM card which is synchronized and it is in validity period. So keeping this in mind, we are going to develop each and every requirement. Okay. Then next one is dependencies. So dependencies in the sense, if your project is going to depend on any other. For example, your ATM server is going to depend upon the bank database server. So whatever the information you get, the ATM is going to hit the bank server, it will get the information from there and it will display. So that is nothing but dependencies. Okay. So this is about second section, that is general description. And third one is specific requirements. Okay. So under this section, we are going to explain the specific requirements that are related to a project. Okay, which are going to show impact on the implementation and development process of a project. So here we are going to take only specific requirements. Okay. So here also we have some subsections, like first one is external interface requirement, then non-functional requirements, then functional requirements, then logical database requirements, design requirements, HR requirements, other requirements. So all these are specific requirements. Okay. So as a BA, we are going to explain the functional requirements. Okay. Whatever the functionalities that are there in the project, we are going to explain them. That is our responsibility. But coming to other requirements, we are going to take those requirements from the concerned team and we are going to paste it in SRS document. Okay. For example, as I said, external interface requirements. That means whenever you are going to interface with third party, what kind of requirements we need. So who is going to give these requirements? The developers. So directly we will go to the developers and we will ask, I want external interface requirements for this project. Then they will send. So we are going to copy and we are going to paste it here. In the same way, non-functional requirements. Who is going to give? Technical team. We will go to the technical team. We will ask to give non-functional requirements. They will send on the mail. You are going to copy and paste it here. In the same way, functional requirements. So functional requirements, as I said, it is our responsibility as a BA. So for each and every functionality, we have to explain. For example, if login module is there, okay, that we are going to explain. So in this project, we are going to have login. So it contains user ID, password, and login button. Under user ID, we will say we have to, if user is going to give user ID and then if he give his password and click on login button, the system should allow the user to enter into the application. So user ID should be employee first name and last name, and password should be minimum of 8 characteristics, and there should be one uppercase. So in this way, we are going to specify. Then second one is there, perform transaction. So once the user enters into the application, he will find an option called as perform transaction. Once he clicks on that, then system is going to give a drop down box with options like withdraw, deposit and transfer. Then whatever the user want to do, he will select that function. So in this way, we will explain the functionalities. Okay. Then next one is logical database requirements. So these requirements we are going to get from database administrator. We will go to him and we will ask him to give this database requirements. He will give and we are going to paste it here. Then design constants, design requirements. So this we are going to get from the designers. We will go to them, we'll collect information and paste it here. In the same way, some companies are going to ask for HR requirements. So we will go to the HR team, we will ask the requirements, they will give and we are going to paste it here. Okay. So in this way, the BA is going to do SRS. Then fourth section is analysis module. So under this section, what happens means whatever the tools and techniques and analysis we are going to use, that all we are going to specify here. Okay. So for example, for enterprise analysis, if you do any enterprise analysis, like if you are using SWOT analysis, gap analysis, that we are going to specify here, saying that for this project we have used SWOT analysis and gap analysis. And for requirement gathering, if you are going to use brainstorming or JAD sessions, that we are going to specify, saying that we have used this kind of things. Okay. Then next, if you see next one is for requirement gathering. As I said, if you use JAD sessions or this, then for communication, if you are using tools like MS Visio or say any other, that we are going to specify. And in the same way, like for communication, if you are doing use cases or sequence, that we are going to specify. Okay. So whatever the tools and techniques and enterprise analysis modules which we are going to use, that all we are going to specify. Okay. Then fifth one is change management process. Under this section, we are going to explain in case if you are going to get change request or change of scope in future, what kind of process we have to follow. And we are going to explain about that process, like how we are going to get requirement changes, who is the authorized person to accept, and what kind of decision he has to take. So in future, if you get change request or change of scope, we are going to see the process that we need to follow here, and we have to follow that process. Okay. Then final one is appendix. So if you want to provide any additional information related to the project, that we are going to specify here. So if you don't have any additional information, we are going to skip this. Additional information in the sense, in future, if you are extending your project to mobile apps, that we will specify. In future, you are going to put some more functionalities, that we are going to explain. Okay, any additional information. Okay. So these are the different sections. So this is my way of preparing document. So I got only 6 sections. If another BA is there, okay. So he won't categorize into sections and subsections. He will take only sections. At that time, we will get nearly 25 to 30 sections. That is his way of doing the project. But at last, if you read any document, the entire information will be there. Okay. So just go through the notes once. After that, I will show you some more. If you complete, please let me know. I will change the page.
Done.
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 Done. Done.
Done.
Done.
Okay. So this is how we are going to prepare SRS document. Now, second one is BRD. BRD stands for Business Requirement Document. We can call this also as BRS, Business Requirement Specifications. So, sorry, SRS document we are going to use for implementation projects. That means if you are implementing a project, new project. So generally, if the concept is new and there is no competitor or there is no substitute. So for those kind of project, we are going to use SRS, and BRS we are going to use for enhancement and migration projects. Okay. So enhancement in the sense, if you are making any changes to the project, like modification of some features, addition or delete for the betterment of the future, but for the betterment of the project, that we are going to call it as enhancement. And migration means if you are migrating from one company to another company, if you are migrating from old technology to new technology. So that is called as migration projects. For those projects, we are going to use BRD. So this document generally explains the difference between business objectives and technical objectives. So business objectives explains why the client is implementing this project, what is his objective, what is his goal, what is his mission, and what metrics we are going to use to measure the success of the project. So these all things will be explained by business objectives, and technical objectives explains how to achieve these business objectives. What is the step-by-step process that we need to follow to achieve these business objectives? That is explained by technical objectives. Okay. So here in BRD document, you need to remember one thing. We have to specify the current process and the future, that is the modified or new process. Okay. So it is must. So by doing BRD, we can do as is and to be process, and we can identify the gaps also. Okay. So just like SRS, this BRD also contains some sections. So these are the sections like key business objectives, scope statement, business problem statement, current business process, new and modified business process, assumptions, risks and limitations, functional and non-functional requirements, training, stakeholders list, checklist. So all these are contents. So let me explain about each content. So the first one is key business objects. So as I said, here we have to specify why we are implementing this project, what is the objective, what is the goal, what is the mission, what exactly the client is looking in this project. Okay. Then what is the metrics that we are going to use to measure the success of the project. Okay. Then scope statement. This I already explained in the SRS. So what we are going to deliver, that we are going to explain. Then third one is business problem statements. Under this section, in the present process, what kind of problems you are going to face. You are going to identify them and you are going to keep them here in a sequence. So what problems you are facing in your business, or what problems you are facing with the current system. Okay. Then next one is current business process. So under this section, we are going to explain what is the current process. So we will explain step by step, and also we are going to use the flow diagram to explain how the current business process is going on. Then fifth one is new and modified business process. So under this section also, like what kind of changes we are going to do for the existing system, or what is the new process that we are going to follow. So that we are going to explain. So we will put in the same way, like step by step we will explain, and we are going to write the flow diagram also. Okay. Then assumptions. So that is universal assumptions. For example, if we take ATM application system, okay, what we assume, each and every customer is going to have account and it is synchronized with ATM card. So that is general assumption. And risks and limitations. So if you have any risks and limitations, that we are going to specify. So risk in the sense, like if you are going to misplace your ATM card, there may be chances that someone is going to take your money. That is one risk. And if you are using online facility, there are chances someone is going to hack your password and they can browse your transactions and accounts. That is one risk. So in this way, whatever the risks are there, that we will explain. Then limitations. So if you have any limitations, that we are going to specify. For example, you need to withdraw only 5 times in a ATM center, and daily withdrawal limit is 20,000. Okay, and you need to maintain 5,000 as a balance, minimum balance. So all these are limitations. Okay. Then next one is functional and non-functional requirements. So I explained you in earlier document how to write functional and how to write non-functional requirements. Then next one is training. So under this section, we will specify after doing changes, what kind of training we are going to provide. So it depends upon the client. If the client says that you want only training material so that user can prepare by himself, or if you want any classroom training, or if you want any online training, this is all we are going to provide. Okay. Then stakeholders list. So under this section, we are going to list out the stakeholders. So after identifying how many stakeholders are there, we are going to put in a SQL, and their name, their email ID, their mobile number. Okay. So in this way, we will put entire things in sequence, and then whatever the information we have gathered, we are going to put that information also. Okay. Then 11th one is checklist. So under this, we are going to specify, for example, for each and every document, we are going to have table of contents. So we are going to put all these things in table, that is in table of content, and beside this, we are going to put a checklist. In case if key business objectives are there, we are going to check. Suppose assumptions are not there, we are not going to check. So whatever we have checked, that information should be available in this document. Whatever we did not check, that information should not available. Okay. So these are the different contents of BRD. Then next comes to FRS document. Okay. So to say about FRS, it stands for Functional Requirement Specifications. So it explains about the functionalities which can be converted into requirements, which is a part of the proposed system. So here there is no difference between BRD document and FRS document. So everything will be same. So the 11 contains will be same. Only the difference is, in case if you want to make changes in more than one requirement, then we are going to use BRD. If you want to make changes in only one requirement, then we are going to use FRS. Okay. For example, if ATM application is there, in ATM application, if you want to make changes to login module and perform transaction module and bill payment, then we are going to prepare BRD. In the same way, in this ATM application system, if you want to do changes only in login module, then we are going to name it as FRS. All the contents will be same for BRD and FRS. Okay. So these are the three documents. Now let me explain what is the difference between SRS, BRS and FSD. So as I said, SRS explains the complete description and behavior of the system, and it is prepared as per the standards of IEEE 830, and it enlists all the requirements that are required for a software engineer to develop the project. And it also explains some non-functional requirements and also some use cases. Okay. Then coming to BRS. So BRS is a high-level business document. It explains what business required, what are the goals, objectives, and what is the mission of the business. Okay. So that is nothing but BRS. Then FRS. FRS explains about the functionalities that can be converted into requirements, which is a part of the proposed system. Okay. So that is nothing but FRS. Now, if you see here, there is a comparison between business requirements and functional requirements. Okay. So business requirements are high level business needs, and functional requirements are to fulfill the business needs. So business requirements answers the question, what does the business want to do? And functional requirements answers the question, how it should be done. And business requirements are connected with the business problems or business opportunities, and functional requirements are connected with the solution or the software being developed. So business requirements are broad and high level. Functional requirements are specific and detailed. And business requirements are written from the point of view of the client, and functional requirements are written from point of view of the system. Okay. This is the comparison between BRS and SRS, or business requirements and functional requirements. Now, the other document is S4W. S4W stands for Statement of Work. Now, what is this S4W? When to prepare this S4W? What are the contents? Let me explain you. So once, if the IT company is going to get a project, then there will be a team called as ongoing team, onboard team, or HR team. So those people are going to assign this project to a project manager. Okay. Then project manager is going to keep a kickoff meeting, and he will finalize the resources that has to work for this project, and he will give sign off. After giving sign off, the project manager will call the BA, and he will ask him to prepare SOW, that is statement of work. Okay. So then the BA prepares this SOW. So this SOW actually explains the working agreement between the two parties, the client and the IT company. So it explains the working conditions between the two parties. That means what the client has to do for this project and what the IT company has to do for this project. Okay. So it is also just like a working agreement, and it also contains some legal impact. Okay. So in this SOW, we will specify the roles, responsibilities, then what are the liabilities of each and every party. That means it explains the roles, responsibilities, and liabilities of an IT company as well as the client. Okay. So a well-written SOW contains the KPI. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, and these are used as a baseline to determine the next project. Okay. So here in SOW also we have some contents. What are those means? Scope, location, timelines, delivery schedule, standards, acceptance criteria, mode of contract and payments. Okay. So under scope, we will explain what kind of technical and hardware work we have to do. Okay. So that is scope. Like what kind of work we have to do. Okay. So if there is anything out of scope, we are going to specify a separate heading called as out of scope, and we will specify. Then next one is location. So under this section, we will specify where we need to do the project, whether it is at the client side or whether it is at the IT company side. Okay. And here we are going to explain the roles of a HR team also. Okay. Then timelines. So under this section, we will specify the timelines. For example, for analysis, how much time we have to give, for designing, how much time, for development, how much time, and in the same way, like when we are going to deliver and what is the guarantee and warranty time for application. So all these things we are going to take care. Okay. So apart from that, we also specify what is the real time that is required, man hours time. Okay. Then next one is delivery schedule. So under this section, we are going to specify the deliverables. That means if the client is going to ask to deliver the project in module wise, then we will specify. So module 1 when we are going to deliver on which date, module 2 when we are going to deliver, module 3 when we are going to deliver, in that way. Okay. Then standards. So under this section, we are going to specify the standards. Whatever the deliverables we are going to do, it has to accept the standards, whatever we are specifying is. Again, it depends whether we are using ISO standards or TQM standards, or whether we have prepared our own standards or not. So that we are going to specify here. Okay. Then acceptance criteria. So what is the criteria we need to follow? That we are going to specify. Okay. For example, if the client says that there should be 90% accuracy in the project. Now, assume that there are 5 requirements. For 4 requirements, you have assured 90%, and for 5th requirement, it is around 87% or something. Then the client is going to give some acceptance criteria. So accordingly, we are going to prepare. Okay. Then next one is mode of contract and payments. So this I already explained in module number 1. So we have 2 types of things. One is fixed bid and the second one is retainer. Okay. So the fixed bid means the cost of the project will be fixed irrespective of the resources you are using. So the client says, I'm going to pay you $5,000. You need to complete this project within 5 months. Okay. So whatever the resources you use, client is not bothered. If you use 10 resources also, 100 resources also. Only thing what he bothered is you are going to complete the project within the given timelines and budget or not. So that is nothing but fixed bid. And next one is retainer. Retainer means here the client is going to pay the billing based on the resources. So if you say, okay, so here the client is going to say, I want one project leader, one BA, 4 testers, 4 developers. I'm going to pay $200 for project leader and $180 for BA and $150 for each tester and developer. Okay. So now what happens at the end of the month, they are going to collect the data and accordingly they will release the payment. So that is nothing but retainer. Okay. Yeah. Just go to the notes once.
Done. Done.
Completed?
Done.
Okay. So let me show you some formats. I forgot to say, like, see, whenever you are doing documentation, each and every company is going to give their own format. Okay. 99% they are going to give. So they will say you have to prepare this document in this format. So just you are going to take that format and you will edit the fields. Okay. In case if any company is not giving format, then you can check with this format. So the reason why I took the format is in this everything is explained clearly, and for each and every functionality description is given what to do. So here you are going to give project name and version number and company logo. So here document version history will be there. Okay. Then if you see, this is table of contents. So in introduction, we have specified purpose, scope, definition, reference, and document structure. So when I explained, there was no document structure, but here document structure is there. So in the same way, whatever it is applicable, we are going to provide that. Whatever is not applicable, we are not going to put. And here if you see, for each and everything what we need to do is explain. So under purpose, in this subsection specify the purpose of the document and the intended audience. Scope, in this subsection describes the domain to be covered and brief description of the domain. So in this way, for each and every section and subsection, description is there. So with the help of description, you will come to know, okay, what we need to write under this. So that's the reason I have selected this document. So I'm going to send this document to your email ID. So just refer this document clearly whenever you have a time. Okay. Then next one is BRS. So BRS also looks same like SRS, but only difference what will be there in BRS is like current business process and proposed business process. So you need to know what is the current process, and then you need to know what is the recommended or new business process. That is important for BRD. Okay. So the rest of the things will be same as SRS only. Like you can see introduction, scope, definition, and everything, exceptions and dependencies. So again here also they have given the description, what we need to write and what we should not write. Okay. So this also I'm going to send to your email IDs. Just refer to this document also. Then by this we have completed our module number 6, that is related to documentation. And tomorrow we are going to see with module number 7, that is related to OOPS concept. Okay. Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will meet tomorrow at the same time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.